I was reading through some comment sections the other day, which, for the record, you should never jump on social media and read the comment section. You will be introduced to the wild and wacky world of humans. They got all kinds. But nonetheless, I was reading through the comment sections the other day and it hit me. You could literally post the most empowering, dynamic, honest, healing, empowering message ever, and you're still gonna get some of them folks that are going to find a way to tear it down. Now, I'm not saying that I post any of those messages, like empowering, dynamic, whatever, but what I'm saying is that someone could, and there's going to be someone in the world that's going to tear it down. Misery loves company. Miserable people love making other people miserable. At first I was annoyed, but then I got curious because I know what I said wasn't wrong. It wasn't fake. It wasn't performative. It wasn't even controversial, but still somebody had something negative to say. So then I started really thinking about it. I started getting profound. Why do people respond to truth with such bitterness and vitriol? Why do people meet healing with sarcasm? Why do they attack someone who's just trying to help? I understand that I have a large forehead and a receding hairline, but why would you comment on that instead of the message? So, start thinking about it. Most people aren't angry. Most people are just afraid, and they project those fears onto other people. They project those insults onto other people because they're not confident within themselves. And again, most of those people are afraid, but not in a way that they realize. They're not afraid of you. They're afraid of what your growth says about their stagnation. They're afraid of your confidence because they are still battling insecurity. They're afraid of being wrong, being exposed, being unseen, being forgotten. And the funny part about it is the computer has given people wonderful anonymity so that they can say whatever they want to without fear of being punched in the mouth. But with all that said, that's when I knew I had to make a series. Because this isn't just about the comment section. This is about the fears that run people's lives without them even knowing it. So I'm going to break them down one by one. We're going to be talking about the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of abandonment or isolation, the fear of being seen, the fear of change or the unknown, and the fear of being wrong or, letting go of your identity. Now, this ain't just going to be some surface level stuff. I'm talking about the deep, quiet fears that people experience. That subconscious fears that people don't even know that they have. The ones that shape how you show up in relationships and conversation, and how you speak, how you move, how you shrink. So if something in you knows that it's time to stop living in fear, stick around. But first, we're going to talk about one of the most prevalent fears there is. The fear of rejection. Oh, just the mere thought of it stings. The fear of rejection used to be a huge one for me until I started a business where I got rejected 9 times out of 10 in making cold calls. I've told that story too many times to repeat here, but that's how I overcame that fear, was to put myself in situations where I was constantly rejected. And over time, it doesn't bother you anymore. And long story short, I believe that what I'm doing now is because I first was put in a situation that I had to overcome the fear of rejection. Because let's face it, now when you make videos and you put them on the internet for the entire world to see, you're going to get some people that come and don't like what you're saying. Or you're going to get some people to come that don't like your hairline. It takes all kinds. But in the past, when someone told me no or disagreed with me or didn't pick me or insulted me, it was like a dagger through the heart. It just felt like they hated me. And nobody wants to be hated. Felt like I wasn't good enough, like I didn't matter, like I was invisible. And the rejection, it wasn't just a moment, it was a reminder of every time prior to that I felt overlooked. Every time that I tried to be liked or accepted or loved, and it still wasn't enough. So let's get into what's really happening here with the fear of rejection. It's not just uncomfortable, it's actually biological. It activates the same regions as physical pain. That's why getting rejected, it doesn't just hurt your feelings, but it feels like a punch to the gut. You see, we're wired from childhood to equate rejection with danger. Because when you're a kid, being accepted equals survival. And if you didn't belong to the group, then you felt isolated. And back in our tribal days, isolation meant death. So now, even as an adult, when someone criticizes you, ignores you, unfollows you, says something mean to you, our nervous system reacts like our survival is at risk. Like you've just been cast out with no way back in. And you might be at Starbucks, or you might be at home in your pajamas, but your nervous system doesn't know the difference. It feels unsafe. It feels vulnerable. It feels like rejection could literally ruin you. Rejection isn't just a fear. It's a survival strategy that's actually hardwired into your subconscious. It's one that, says avoid pain at all costs. So you shapeshift, you perform, you self-abandon just to avoid feeling that deep childhood wound resurface again. Now, you don't wake up saying, I'm scared people won't like me today, but your actions expose it. You don't speak your truth. You water down your opinions, or you play small so that you stay safe. But the truth is, you don't want to be seen unless you're guaranteed acceptance. And that's not wisdom. That's fear in disguise. It's the reason why you shrink in certain rooms, why you edit your personality around certain people, why you hold back whenever your heart's telling you to move forward. Rejection isn't just a fear, it's a program. It quietly shapes your personality and your behavior so you never have to feel unworthy again. Now, whenever the fear of rejection is running the show, this is what it's going to sound like. I don't want to look stupid. I'm not qualified enough yet. I'll speak up once I'm more confident. That idea's probably been done before anyway. No one listens to me anyway. What's the point? I don't want to be rejected. See, you think that you're playing it safe, but really, you're trading your freedom for familiar rejection avoidance loops. Now, flip the script. When somebody else is dealing with their own rejection, but they don't know how to deal with it, they're going to project that onto you. They're going to say stuff like, oh, you think you're better now. Why are you always posting? Who are you trying to be? Tony Robbins? Don't forget where you came from. That's not how we do things around here. That's not critique. That's emotional projection. That's their fear speaking in disguise to you, projecting their fears onto you. But here's the thing. Those comments aren't rooted in truth. They're rooted in their fears. Fear that your growth reminds them of their stagnation. Fear that if you succeed, well, then that means that their excuses were invalid. Their rejection is not about your worth. It's about their wounds. They're scared of being rejected too. And so they try to reject you first. Because if they can make you shrink, then they don't have to face the fact that they stopped growing. And if you think about it, anybody that's successful, anybody that has a great mindset, emotional intelligence, none of those people are talking to anybody else. It's always the lazy, the weak-minded, the people that gave up. It's always the weak ones. The loudest boos come from the cheapest seats, as they say. So think about it like this. First off, you have to think about who it's coming from. Really think about who it's coming from. You're going to let homeboy that lives in his mom's basement with Cheeto dust on his white t-shirt that plays video games all day and drinks 2-liter Cokes, you're going to let that dude talk crap to you and prevent you from chasing your dreams? Come on now. Think of the source. You always got to look at the source. Where's the criticism coming from? An avatar online? Somebody that never in a million years would say it to your face? Come on now. Got to be stronger than that. But let's flip it. What if rejection didn't control your life? Imagine if that fear didn't run your life anymore. Imagine what you could do, what you could say if you weren't constantly shrinking to stay likable. You'd stop editing yourself in conversations. You'd stop saying yes when you meant no. You'd start walking in alignment instead of performance. And you'd stop taking rejection personally, because rejection is rarely about who you are. It's about where they are. And you need to remember, some people aren't rejecting you. They're rejecting what you represent. Change, truth, power and alignment will always cost you acceptance from the people that benefited from your silence. So, how do we break the fear of rejection? Number one, name it. Call it what it is. If it's fear, do not call it wisdom. If it's avoidance, do not call it timing. Oh, the timing's just not right. No, that's not it. You're just avoiding the work. Timing's never going to be right. Be honest with yourself, because clarity is the beginning of freedom. Number two, take the action anyway. Rejection stings the most when you've been avoiding it. It's not going to kill you. And if you keep on putting yourself in situations to be rejected, eventually it's not even going to bother you. Expose yourself to it in small doses. Speak up in the room. Share your truth with the people that need to hear it. Let your no be no and your yes be yes. Number three, reframe it. Rejection is not an attack. It's a mirror. It shows where you don't belong so that you can figure out where you do belong. Finally, separate your identity from the outcome. You're not your results. You're not your likes. You're not someone else's reaction. Just because they rejected your honesty or your truth or your vulnerability does not mean that they rejected you. Finally, say this out loud. If they rejected me, that just means that they weren't my people. Say it until you believe it. Look, you don't need to be accepted by everyone. You're not going to be. That's not your assignment anyway. Your assignment is to become the version of you that accepts yourself fully, boldly, unapologetically. Because once you do, you don't need permission. You don't need applause. You won't need anything but alignment. Hey, in the next episode, we're going to dive into the fear of judgment and why most people don't judge you because of who you are. They judge you because of what you remind them of them and themselves. That is a tongue twister. Them and themselves. Anyway, for now, don't run from rejection. Face it. Build strength from it. Let it clarify your circle. Let it sharpen your voice. Let it confirm your direction. You're not too much. You're just in the wrong room. And so let's change that. I appreciate you watching this first episode about fear of rejection. We got a lot more coming, so I can help you understand the subconscious fears that are keeping you from becoming the best version of yourself. The subconscious fears that you don't even realize that you have. We're going to bring them to the surface and we're going to figure out how to overcome them. And life is going to feel much better and you're going to feel much more free after we're done learning all this. So, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to make good choices. We're going to see you on the next one where we talk about fear of judgment. So long.